Hello world, and thank you for coming to my channel, The Life of Poon. And today I would like to discuss over nurturing. But before I get into that, let me tell you, thank you for coming to my channel. I truly appreciate it because it's just one of those moments where I just have to give myself a round of applause by putting myself out there, because I would never talk about certain situations and would just bury it so deep. And I truly want to thank you for continuously looking at my channel and continuously showing me the support, showing me the love. Even just watching this video and seeing this gorgeous face, even though I need a shape up and I need to do something with it at this moment in time, but it's no judgment. It's no judgment at all on this channel. So leave your comment below to let me know what you think about this topic. So let's get into it. Over nurturing people. Me. And I was definitely an over nurturer simply because I was not, I don't want to say not nurtured when I was younger, because I was. It was just that I felt like an outcast and felt like no one would understand me. So I shut myself off to so many people and so many things because I was counting myself out, counting myself short. And I was one of those people that felt like I couldn't run to anyone to talk about my problems because no one would understand me. I felt lost. I felt that no one loved me. I felt alone. So I wasn't able to open up to anyone, especially people that were close to me, friends, family, etc. So I felt like I wasn't nurtured growing up because I felt like I was just the black sheep, and I felt like no one would understand. So I just went mute. And it was one of those things that was my downfall, simply because when I went mute, I was blocking out my feelings and internally dealing with my feelings without even talking about it. And it was just one of those things that eventually it just boiled over, and whoever was around just felt my wrath. And that wasn't cool, because I burnt a lot of bridges and hurt a lot of people that I truly cared about. So by me not being nurtured in a emotional way when I was younger, I came to the point in my life where now I'm in my early 20s, and I had to realize that I was over nurturing others that didn't deserve it. Not saying that they didn't deserve it, because we all deserve to express ourselves and all deserve to have someone we can confide in with confidence. But I was doing it to the point where I wasn't happy, and doing it to the point where I was giving, and not receiving. I was doing it to a point where I was cutting my own hand off to make sure everyone else was okay, but not looking at myself and mentally making sure I was okay. So this went on for years, and people took advantage of it. And it's no love lost. I still love the people, because sometimes people don't see their own reflection. And I definitely wasn't seeing mine, to the point where I was making sure everyone was okay, but I wasn't okay. And I didn't even know how to express it. I was always trying to be there for friends and family members when things would go wrong, and when things would um, emotionally hurt them. And I would just be like, talk to me, to the point where sometimes they didn't want to talk because they didn't have their own language within themselves to define their emotions. But I was just so there where I was kind of holding them like, no, we're going to talk about this right now. We need to talk about this so you can heal. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to make sure that you're okay. I'm going to make sure that you get through this. But in all honesty, they weren't ready to. They didn't have the language to speak it. They were stuck in their own head as well. And you see, by me doing that, I was hurting them because they probably put all this anxiety in their head like, oh my gosh, I don't know, I don't know. And I was hurting myself by overly putting myself out there and trying to make sure everybody was good and not looking to see if I was good. Because I am a true believer the person that always has the best advice for people and everybody come to for advice is probably the main one hurting. And I think it comes from a place because we're so used to hearing everyone else's problems that we got to feel like we got to hold it together. Or we hear everybody else's problems where we think, oh, I don't got it that bad. And yeah, we may not have it that bad, but it's one of those things that if you never talk about it and we let things build up within us, it can become disastrous. And I had to go through that to realize that I have to make sure that, one, I'm good with my life and make sure that I'm good before I can make sure anyone else is good in their life, because it's one of those things where we can piggyback off each other and help each other. But it's one of those things that I had to realize to value myself, value my emotions, and realize that not everyone is able to talk about their emotions. And by me just constantly trying to be there and strangle them to the point where it's like, talk to me, I was causing myself pain as well. Because there'll be times where they wouldn't talk to me and I would just take that as hurt, like, oh, they don't trust me. Oh, they don't want to talk about their problems. So why are they in my life? Or just things that sound ridiculous when I say it out loud now, to the point where it's like I was over nurturing and I was doing a great job at it. And I had to learn that my over nurturing came from a place from when I was younger, because I felt like I didn't have anyone to talk to. I felt like I didn't have anyone to turn to. I felt like I was always crying out for help, but no one understood and no one could hear me. And ultimately, no one could hear me because I was afraid of being judged. I was afraid of feeling more ashamed. I was afraid of letting people in. And that's probably the reason why I would be so like at someone's throat trying to get them to open up. But you see, they were feeling the same things that I was feeling, that they couldn't have no one to run to, that they couldn't express their feelings because they didn't know their feelings. And because we're all going through something, and it's always good to talk to people you can confide in and have confidence that they are going to lead you in the right direction. And I'm not saying go listen to everybody and their advice, because you don't need to do that. But it's one of those moments where you have to pick yourself up and realize that it's people around you that love you. And for all the over nurturers out there that's trying to heal everyone and trying to make sure everyone else is okay, make sure you're okay.